Hi, I'm Guna Mathivanan. Welcome to Simply Current Affairs. In today's video, before we discuss the editorial topic, we will finish the feedback for the question which I gave in the last video. Friends, if you are watching this video series for the first time, then please watch my introductory video given in the playlist to know how to participate in this answer writing program. The initiative is open to all. And friends, I'm coming up with an exclusive current affairs program and an exclusive full economic course targeting the prelims 2026. The classes are starting from 11th of October and 15th of October respectively. So in current affairs program, we will be discussing 1000 plus topics, and for each topic I'll be giving you static linkage wherever possible, and every class will be followed by a test based on that particular class. And this program also includes a detailed discussion on economic survey and budget. For more information, you can click the link given in the description. You can also visit our website www.simplycurrentaffairs.com. So in the last video, the question which I gave was regarding ADR. So explain the concept of ADR, analyze the rationale behind India's emphasis on ADR and the major impediments in their adoption. Okay. So pretty straightforward question, nothing much to explain here. You have got, in the introduction part, you are going to explain about ADR. Then you are going to put a heading for why we are emphasizing on ADR, the reasons why we wanted ADR. Then you put another subheading that despite of all these significance, there are some challenges in the adoption, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have to give way forward as well. So there are some issues in the adoption, right? So suggest some solutions to address the problem. Way forward is important, though it is not explicitly mentioned. Put a subheading because 15-marker question. If it is a 10-marker question, maybe in the conclusion you can give way forward, but it's a 15-marker question. So try to have at least 3 subheadings. Okay, then you can give the conclusion. Right? So many people were writing more in detail about ADR. ADR is just an introduction. Okay, too much emphasis on ADR is not required. And way forward, many students, they, at least in conclusion, at least you should have given. Your conclusion should be a little bigger, and at least that you should have fit in. So that is the problem. Okay. So we have taken the answer written by Robin. See, number 1, your handwriting is neat. If possible, you can slightly increase your font size, but it is fine, not an issue, just letting you know. So here you have given a decent introduction. You have explained what is ADR and what are the several components of ADR. Okay, but this part is not required. Citing the doctrine of Panch Parameshwar recently, which emphasizes, because see, you cannot take one entire page for introduction. Right? So this part can be avoided. So after that, you have started with the rationale behind the emphasis on ADR. Okay, judicial backlog point you have mentioned, the cases pending you have mentioned. ADR is more faster, ADR reduces litigation cost, it preserves the relationship between both the parties, flexible procedures, right? It also encourages pre-litigation mediation, that is even before going to the court you can get it resolved. And also constitutional backup. So all these points we have discussed in detail. So those points you have mentioned. My suggestion is kindly number it. Instead of arrow mark, I would say kindly number it. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay. So that the evaluator will feel that okay, you have written in total, I am saying total 15-20 points you have written. That will psychologically impact the evaluator, okay, while awarding marks. So please number it. And despite the growing need of ADR mechanism, subsequent government interventions exist. There are a few challenges in the widespread adoption. This is the link point, which is very good actually. So between the paragraphs, wherever possible, try to bring that link point. The link point is what will give you the flow. Okay, you put a subheading, you write 5 points. It's not mandatory, but that will add a little value. Okay, so link point is fine. Then intervention of higher courts in the arbitral proceedings sometimes, yes. Delays in enforcement, lack of arbitration mediation centers in most of the ADR centers. Okay, lack of training. Points are fine, nothing to comment on that. Only missing point is way forward. However, you have mentioned the way forward in the conclusion, so it is okay. But if possible, try to put a subheading and write it. Okay. So yes, very good attempt. Nothing, no much to comment. Your handwriting is neat. I'm able to understand. It looks good also. Okay. So right. So now we will move on to today's editorial discussion. So we have taken an editorial from The Hindu. That editorial discusses about food loss and food wastages. Okay, particularly in India. See, September 29th has been observed as the International Day of Awareness of Food Loss and Food Wastage. So now we have to understand what is the difference between food loss and food wastage. Food loss, see, from the farm field to the consumer, from the farm field to the consumer, whatever wastage happens, which we refer it as food loss. Now the food has reached the consumer. Now maybe because of expiry date or because of general over purchase, okay, all these might cause some wastage in the consumer side, right? That is called as food waste. So understand the difference between food loss and food wastage. So from the farm, be it lower nutritional value, be it lower productivity, from the, okay, after the post harvest, in storage you have some loss, maybe a pest attack, in the distribution, in the handling, in the processing you have some loss. All these are called as food loss. Now Guna has purchased food grains. Now assume that I have purchased in excess, so I will waste it. Or I have purchased, I am not utilizing it on time, it got expired, I am wasting it. All these will be classified as food wastage. Globally, 1/3 of the food produced is either lost or wasted. Okay, so when it comes to India, food loss is more than food wastage. In India, food loss is more. What is the reason? The reason is lack of proper infrastructure. Say for example, take the storage part. After the harvest, where will I store the food grains? 85% of the farmers in the country, they come under small and marginal category who hold an operational land holding of less than 2 hectares. Small farmers. So Guna is a small farmer. I might not have a big cold storage facility or big warehouse to store my food grains. So I might store my food grains in a gunny bag or in some facility inside my house. So there can be, pest attack, or if there are some disasters, it's a huge rainfall, then there can be moisture entering into the gunny bags that can cost, that can create microbial growth. So in India, if we take, the food loss is very high when compared to food wastages, right? In transportation, in distribution, in processing, we are facing a lot of loss because we are using limited technologies. And also the supply chain is also, it is not concentrated, it is rather fragmented. Okay, procurement place, distribution place, storage place, it is not at one location, so it is fragmented. So that also involves a lot of time, energy, and that also creates wastages. This is the case of India. So in India, this food loss impact can be classified under 2 headings. One is economic impact, second one is the environmental impact. So if we take the economic impact, point number 1, almost 1.5 lakh crores worth farm produce is being lost and wasted in India. Of course, food loss is more. Totally, we are losing and wasting 1.5 lakh crore worth of farm produce. That is equivalent to 3.5% of agricultural GDP. Right? And if you specifically take the crop loss, fruits and vegetables, where we see highest wastage, almost 15% wastage we are seeing in fruits and vegetables. When it comes to rice, almost 4.8% is getting wasted. When it comes to wheat, almost 4.2% is getting wasted. Apart from that, think about all the money wasted in the form of labor cost, in the form of input cost. See, all this money is spent. This could have been saved, right, if we are planning it effectively. So what happens is 1 lakh crore worth of farm produce, we are wasting it. Keeping this in mind, only we produce it. If we are not wasting, if there is mindful consumption, if there is proper infrastructure, then we will not produce this extra. So that, we need not waste money on the resources like fertilizers, pesticides, this, that, etc. So what about the environmental impact? So I was mentioning about the inputs used in this production process, fertilizers. So a huge amount of fertilizer is used for producing crops. Pesticides are used, and these fertilizers, pesticides, chemicals, these chemicals production process, and these chemicals also contribute for the climate change. Right? It releases, it becomes, the production process releases a lot of carbon emissions, and that becomes a reason for global warming. See, if at all we use that 1.5 lakh crores worth farm produce, okay, fine. We are not using only. If at all, see, by sensing, if we are having a proper infrastructure, if we are having proper awareness, and if we are not producing that 1.5 lakh crores worth of farm produce, then we would have not utilized this excess fertilizer, pesticides. So excess fertilizer, pesticide will not be produced. So carbon emission could have been prevented, right? Not just that, now all these food which we are wasting, we are dumping in the landfill. So in the land, we are dumping it. So inside the land, under the anaerobic condition, that is in the absence of oxygen, the bacteria will decompose. Now decomposition of these wasted foods also will release carbon emission, methane emissions. Right? Again, global warming. Right? Products from livestock. A lot of livestock products, milk, meat, we are wasting it. Livestock itself is producing a lot of methane, carbon emission, that is also creating a lot of greenhouse, that causes global warming, right? So at every level, so we produce something at the cost of something. So when we produce, we have to utilize it. If we are not utilizing it, then the cost is high side. Right? Apart from the crop waste I was mentioning, right? Specifically fruits, vegetables, 10 to 12, 15%. After 15% we are wasting it. Rice 4.8%, wheat 4.2%. Actually, all the crops put together, the wastage alone results in emission of 33 million tons of greenhouse gases. Rice alone is responsible for release of 10 million tons of greenhouse gases. I'm talking about the wasted part. If, let us say, if this is going to be waste, we need not produce only. We are producing in excess knowing that there is lack of infrastructure, etc. So we produce extra. But if there is infrastructure, then if there is infrastructure, technology, aggregation of supply chain players, then what will happen? We will not produce this extra, we can reduce all these 33 million tons of greenhouse gas emission, right? This is the problem. So what we have to do, what government has to do? Government has to address these problems. Yes, we have a scheme called as Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana that focuses on strengthening the infrastructure so that the post-harvest losses can be reduced. So that scheme has to be further strengthened and enforced. And government should actively focus on improving the infrastructure and also should ensure the usage of more technologies wherever possible. Right? Make use of artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, ensure that wastage is reduced, logistics are managed efficiently. Right? And similarly, government should also promote cloud kitchens. So wherever there is food wastage, okay, let it get connected to the cloud kitchen. Let others people use it. Why to waste it? Right. Similarly, we can promote circular economy on this particular wastage only. Let it be used, get converted into some other product. For example, at least we can convert it into a compost, manures, fertilizer that can be used for the further agri production, right? Instead of wasting it, we can utilize it, right? So not just government and various stakeholders of the society, they have to participate, come together, create awareness. One side, to reduce the wastage, we have to promote mindful consumption. Another side, to reduce the losses, we have to build awareness infrastructure, help the small farmers so that the loss part is also getting reduced. Right? So yes, I hope you got clarity on the topic which we discussed today. So based on our discussion, I will give you a question. Food loss and waste have become a silent crisis in India with significant economic and environmental consequences. Elucidate. Elucidate means explain only. But when we will use the word elucidate? When there is something hidden, that hidden part has to be simplified and explained. Okay, see, for example, we discussed about, okay, let say directly like this. Explain about food loss, food waste. Directly, I'm asking you to explain. So when there is some direct question, we will be using the word explain. So here, food loss and waste have become silent crisis. with significant economic and environmental consequences. So this is a statement. From the statement, you have to decipher the answer, and that you have to explain. So we are using the word elucidate. It is nothing but explain only. Okay, in different context, different terms will be used. Easy only. Whatever we discussed, you can explain to this answer. 10-mark question. One thing I forgot to say. In the alternative dispute redressal question, a lot of students were writing the answer only for 10 marks, but it was a 15-marker question. Okay, so watch that carefully. So this is a 10-marker question, so you are going to write only for 150 words, right? So yes, submit your answer before 9 a.m. tomorrow and send me your answer via email at upscwithgunasir@gmail.com in PDF format. And once you send, please leave a comment in the YouTube video that you have sent to the email. Alright friends, I will see you tomorrow with another interesting topic. Till then, bye. Take care from Guna Mathivanan.